Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Just Like Brothers podcast, episode 8. I am Kai Jones, owner of WJG Sports, otherwise WeJournalGreatSports.com/WP.
I'm like a BB, also known as Kai Jones to other people. I mean, it's still an epidemic. That's why it's the name of the show. It's the Just Like Brothers podcast.
Right, and of course now, football is finally through week 1. Took us to Monday, thanks to the rain, but we got through it. And first, we're going to start off with a little bit talking about our games of the week. Of course, do you want to jump into yours, or should I jump into mine first?
I could start. I think we could start with mine.
Green Central versus South Central, of
Yes.
course, the striker game of the week.
Yep, Strikers game of the week. The Rams versus the Falcons of week 1. Head coach Jay Wilson's first game as head coach of the Green Central Rams versus Andy 2 and the Falcons.
Right.
It was an excellent game. I'm really glad I got to go to that game first. It kind of set the tone for covering sports this year, and I was really excited. In terms of the game, Green Central held a 14-point second-half lead, but unfortunately could not keep the lead. South Central won on a game-winning touchdown pass from Justin Humphries to Jaquan Shepard, 66 yards, with about less than 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Right.
To win it 29-28. But I saw good things for both teams. I think both teams are going to do some serious damage this year. But it was a very good game of the week for me to start. Kai, what about you? How was your game?
Just going back a little bit into your game of the week. You know, from what I saw, it looked like Green Central moved the ball very well.
Oh, they did. They absolutely did, yes.
Especially with under the new coach and new quarterback as well.
Yeah,
Cole Dawson.
Dawson played very well.
He's a junior, correct, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's a junior and made his first varsity start. I think he did very well. He had 2 interceptions, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, 2 interceptions, but from what I saw, he made some good passes. He didn't, get rattled in the pocket. Yeah. Made some good throws.
2 touchdown passes.
Right.
One to Zachville Smith, who had 139 yards and a touchdown.
4 catches.
And Lamar Pridgeon had the other receiving touchdown.
And I think those guys are going to be huge for this team just because of the length and the size. It's not often that you go into a two-way school and you got 2 guys on the outside who are 6'4". And then when you mix that with that combination of backs.
Knowledge Branch,
who had a big game, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, he's ridiculous.
Right.
I think there's a reason why he was a preseason player of the year pick for News, one of the entities I work for on the offensive side.
Right.
And he had a great game, but South Central's got some
Right.
real athletes: Justin Humphries, Xavier Meacham, Jaquan Shepard.
Right.
Zaire Williams had 2 rushing touchdowns. It was just an excellent game all around.
You know, the one thing that you talked about, of course, off the screen was Green Central's got to figure out how to get over the fact not having depth on defense.
Yeah, they kind of got a little bit tired in the fourth quarter. South Central took advantage of it.
Which that's one of those things that you see when you see 4A schools versus 2A schools.
Yeah, absolutely. But Green Central, they're in a good spot. They're under great leadership. It's not just Jay Wilson. Their entire coaching staff is some excellent people. I mean, from Coach Willis to Coach Tripp and all the entire crew. They just know how to coach this game very well, and I think they're gonna have a great season. Right.
Of course, they play CB Aycock this week, who was a part of my game of the week, the Little River rivalry.
Good transition.
So the biggest thing that I saw from CB Aycock is they can move the ball. They are explosive. They have a lot of weapons, and Clay Matthews, of course, our inaugural football player of the week here for WJG Sports. He had 3 touchdowns, over 250 yards passing, and it was a big night for everyone involved in that offense. When you look at it, he's kind of the centerpiece of making sure that everyone gets the ball. But I mean, they had 8 or 9 guys touch the ball that night. And
they're electric.
And really against Tay Jackson. I mean, Tay Jackson, he had a big night as well. Over 100 yards from scrimmage. I think almost close to 200, if I remember correctly, with 2 touchdowns. And then you had Seth Shepard, who surprised me, and I think it could be that perfect number 3 option for them because he got 2 touchdowns that were over 70 yards. So almost 150 yards of offense for him plus 2 touchdowns. Now Elijah Moore is just an athletic freak, and Tay Jackson and Elijah Moore both got offered from St. Augustine.
Yeah,
First offers for both those young men.
Congratulations to them. Very
Congratulations to them. The defense does a good job of swarming, but Rosewood, they have some really good backs in Fenty and then also Davion Thompson. So I think Rosewood would be just fine. I think that was a good opening test for them.
I like that they went to play ACON. That was a really good game for them.
1A versus 3A, always a very good rivalry. The one thing I look at for Rosewood that they got to clean up, 4 fumbles.
Yeah, it's got
the first one, the muff punt, that opened up CBA cock to get a score. Then they had another one on a long reception. They had one going into the end zone, and then one on a surprise onside kick.
Wow.
So they gave Aycock 4 extra possessions. I believe Aycock had 2 turnovers themselves with 2 fumbles, I want to say.
Wasn't there a kind of a controversial play that didn't really have an impact on the game?
Yeah, Tay Jackson, as he's going from the 5-yard line, the ball comes out. You can see his knee is on the ground, and the ball comes out. It's a fumble.
They ruled
but
it.
It was a great play by safety / quarterback Josh Harris.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean Will Harris, excuse me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it was just a really good game, and I think Roswell obviously plays North Johnson this week, who had a tough game, losing 42-0 to Red Springs. But Red Springs is always normally a pretty good power in that down there in Sand Hills.
Yeah.
So I think for them, I think Rosewood, they'll be just fine this week playing against Rosewood, playing against North Johnson, who needs kind of a bounce back themselves. I think it'll be a good game between 2 teams who are kind of a smaller 2A and then a big 1A.
Got you. Going back to my game just for 1 second, I also forgot to shout out Kevon Harris, running back for South Central. Also, an electric athlete. The South Central's got a lot of athletes in their position groups. Really good offensive line and defensive line. I think they're definitely gonna challenge to repeat in the 3A, 4A Eastern Carolina Conference. Obviously, other teams had some really good outings this week.
Right. Of course, Rose was able to beat Fike.
Yeah, it was a very good game. Conley did fall to Northeastern again.
16-8.
Yeah, Northeastern has Trevion Freshwater's little brother. He's a ridiculous athlete.
Yeah.
But it was just a really good week for football, and we're glad to be back at it, right?
Right.
Well, as I mentioned at the end of our first segment, we had a lot of really good football games this week. So, Kai, if you want to start with some of the games in the WJG area that caught your eye?
Yeah, Princeton going on the road to Pamlico County, the defending Eastern Regional champs. It was a really hard game for Princeton when you consider 2 hours and lightning delays that kept them in the locker room.
By the way, be on the lookout for the phrase lightning delay, because you're going to hear that a lot in this segment.
Yeah, so they fought through that, had a 16-8 lead, and then finished it off 44-16. A bunch of guys scored for them, and that's pretty much what you're going to see from Princeton this year. As Coach Gasser told me, it was the perfect time for us to play them because right now Pamlico is kind of in a transitional period.
Yeah. And
I think Princeton right now is a team who's primed and ready to make a deep run into that 1A state playoffs.
Sorry to the Bulldogs for picking against you. I apologize. They definitely proved me wrong.
No need. I think really Pamlico is going to get it together at some point, but they start off with a really tough non-conference. I mean, they got Princeton last week, and now they got to go. Now they play Aiden Grifton, who I think is
one of my teams. That's a team of athleticism. Yeah.
Right. Speaking of Aiden Grifton, I heard that the offense wasn't as in sync as it needed to be. I heard that Mike Webb, he did have a couple of big plays that kind of get them going, but him and Josh Wright haven't found that chemistry yet. And then I've also seen the run game hasn't got on pace like they normally need it to be.
Well, yeah, that Aiden Grifton game he's mentioning is a 20-0 shutout win over Southside.
Right.
Another team that I cover. But they started the second half of that game with a kickoff return touchdown. I think it was
Mike Webb.
Yeah, Webb had that kickoff return touchdown. Then he got going a little bit. But Southside's a good team, very well coached, helped by Coach Caro, Coach Cornerly, Coach Whitney, the whole crew out there. They really coach them up very well. But eventually Aiden Grifton started to get going. I think there was also one really insane catch as well by I forgot his name.
Marlon Cannon?
It was 12. But anyway,
JC, was it JC Darden?
nah,
I can't remember right now.
I was gonna say it's kind of but there was
It's early in the season, folks. We still got a lot
yeah
of
we're
numbers
still
and names.
we're it's week 1 for us too.
Yeah.
But bottom line is Aiden Grifton starting the season 1-0 is still very good for right now, obviously.
Right.
But yes, obviously one of the big things is trying to get Josh Wright and his position players acclimated and get good chemistry for them.
Right.
But I think it's good that right now that they got the win over Southside to start, and they're going to play the Hurricanes of Pamlico County this weekend.
Right. And another game going on in the Pitt County area that we haven't talked about, Washington versus North Pitt.
Yeah, that's another game I
Washington-
went to this week.
Yep. Washington made a statement, winning what, 20-0? Or
31-0.
31-0, excuse me. Yeah.
North Pitt, actually, outside of the opening drive, I have to explain it. They kind of set the tone, Washington. They went for it on 4th and 1 on a fake punt, got a big play out of it. Of course, Antoine Godley, who's the quarterback for them, led the offense very well. Their first touchdown was a catch. Then the ball was fumbled forward and then recovered in the end zone. But other than that, North Pitt's defense actually held them strong for the rest of the first half. I don't believe Washington got past midfield at all.
Right. Now, of course, Washington's going to have to head to Tarboro now.
Yes, that's true. I'll get to that in just a second.
Yeah.
That's going to be a very good game. But the Pan Pac also scored the first possession of the second half after a big kickoff return. So it was like a few little plays here and there that really got them going.
Right.
And then the second half, they started to flex their muscles with their athleticism. Their offensive line started playing lights out football, and they did for most of the game. But they have some really good athletes on that squad: Jaden Hambrick, Antoine Godley.
Right.
These guys are going to be very tough to challenge
Right.
in the 2A Eastern Carolina Conference.
And, of course, North Pitt has to go to Kinston. And Kinston made a statement themselves, beating Farmville Central. What was it, 40-8?
40-14.
40-14,
And
yeah.
yes, Kinston led by new quarterback Dimitri Holmes, a junior quarterback.
Hey, I'm telling you, that guy's a football player.
Oh yeah, they
Played
lost.
safety, played wide receiver
Yeah.
for him last year. I think that really helped him learn the offense. And now this year, I think he's going to show and prove that he's going to be
Yeah.
that'll be just fine.
Yeah, Dimitri was the News News Boys Athlete of the Week.
Right.
He had close to 300 yards, I believe,
Yeah.
and what was it 2 touchdowns or 3
Yeah,
touchdowns?
I think it's something like that.
But yeah, Holmes is an electric athlete. Can really get the ball out to his receivers. They had a very good showing. I think that was a really good first game for him to get acclimated.
Right.
But yes, they will play North Pitt this weekend on Friday, and I will be there. So that should be another big game for him.
Right, and then Farmville Central, of course, will play North Lenore.
That will be a competitive game.
Right.
Speaking of the Hawks, North Lenore ended
Breaks a
their
12-game
losing streak,
losing
and I'm
streak.
real. And that one, that's one of the games where I was really happy for Coach Collins and the entire crew out there. They beat East Columbus 20-6. It was close in the second half, and then they put it away with a late score.
All
They're
right.
running wing T now. I'm not going to get his name right, but they're led by quarterback Filippo Sudoveda. Don't know about that last name, but I know Filippo's his first name. But
Yeah.
the bottom line is it's a new offense, and I think this game could be a game where both those teams could win it if they play really well. And Farmville Central's got some really good athletes on their squad as well.
Right.
So you know.
And then of course, another win streak losing streak that was broken was Lejeune. They
Yes.
beat Jones Senior,
the
broke
Devil
their
Pups.
33-game losing streak.
Yeah, that's right.
They're going to play Spring Creek.
So that's going to be a really
And Spring
competitive-
Creek is on a little bit of a losing streak themselves. I'd have to look it up. But they're going on the road to play Spring Creek, who just lost to Triple S, who was able to win their first game. Well,
It's
win
the
their
first season opener.
First
Yeah.
season opener since 2008. This is also the 2008 was also the last time that Smithville Selma has been over 500.
It's really
So,
good for them. I'm really
and
happy
then the
for
last
them.
time they were actually 500 was when they were 1-1 back in 2013. They won their second game and they were 1-1, and that's the last time they were actually 500. So now they're above 500. They're 1-0. They're going to play Western Harnett
Yep.
I believe that is J. Mike Blake from High School Tees. It was with the
Alma mater?
Those. I believe so.
It was one of the Hornet schools. We're sorry,
Right.
J. Mike, if we got it wrong.
Right.
But,
I know I was actually at Hornet Central to play West Johnson. The biggest thing about that was it was super muddy. Nobody.
No wonder
really
it was 7-0.
Yeah, 7-0. Nobody could get anything going. Just basically, anyone who found a hole fell, and that was basically the theme of the game. Hornet Central's running back found one hole, hit it really hard, scored a 20-yard touchdown to pretty much end the game, and West Johnson will now host Corinth Holders, who got a surprise victory over Millbrook, and that's pretty much our fast lightning round of football. One of the big news stories in Johnson County, of course, that also surrounds the football team, kind of, sort of, is Clayton High School. The principal was reassigned despite being told that there was no wrongdoing found in their investigation into the athletics department. And then, of course, soon after, their coach, Hunter Jinks, actually resigned. Yeah. And then after a protest, Clayton lost 48-2 to Richmond County, which Richmond County is a very good football team.
Oh, yeah.
I'm told by Darnell Coley that they have 6 or 7 D1 athletes, so it's nothing to really hang your hat on, especially with everything going on.
Shout out to Darnell, by the way.
Right. And then, of course, Clayton also, soon after, I think Tuesday,
Dr. Renfro,
Dr. Ross Renfro,
Johnson County School Superintendent, announced his retirement, which led to another rally held by Clayton. It looked like a celebration rally of his retirement.
Right. You know, the little bit of, high school OT has done a great job covering this.
Absolutely.
It's kind of one of those things where I look at it, I think it's more news now just because of how the athletics department has been seemingly cleared. But I think some people still assume there's been some wrongdoing. I've been hearing stuff about this type of thing for a while since I've gotten to Johnson County, really. And the thing that I just kind of attribute to is, kind of a little bit of jealousy, and there might be some truth to it. I don't know either way. But I think this situation there's some more things that's in the water. There's some more icebergs in the water there.
Yeah, I see what you mean, Kai. Obviously, for the kids, it's kind of a physically, emotionally, mentally taking a toll on them, and it may have gotten to them on Friday. But yet, we need to make sure we say Richmond County is ridiculously good at football.
Yeah,
so that's a tough first opponent. It was going to be a tough game regardless.
Right.
But I feel like everything that happened in the last week kind of got to them a little bit.
Right.
But I would say that it's all about response for the kids, and I know the kids are going to respond eventually. They're good. They're a good group of kids out there.
I mean, but it doesn't help to lose your coach when you.
Yes, it does not help.
When you
3 days before the season opened.
Yeah, when you open up against Richmond County, and now you got to go play Wake Forest, who just ended the streak.
Speaking of maybe the biggest football story in North Carolina,
just ended the state's longest winning streak. 45 straight games. Yep. 3 straight state titles.
And they were up 10 at the half against Cardinal Gibbons, and Cardinal Gibbons beat them.
Yeah. So now you got to play them.
Yeah, you got to play a team that just lost their winning streak.
So there's a lot going on down there in Clayton, and I think it'll be interesting to see how the kids respond when you have a situation like this. It's a very volatile situation. It's one of those things I've been looking into, but
we just hope that they find some solace out there and just have some peace about this whole situation.
Right. I know it's extremely tough when you like an administrator and an administrator is taken away from you. You like a coach and a coach is taken away from you.
Yes, it's absolutely difficult.
It's one of those things that you'll rebound from.
Absolutely.
So we'll see how it goes, and we'll keep you updated on what happens in this situation.
For sure. Honestly, here at the Just Like Brothers podcast, we love our football.
Right.
But there are other fall sports that we need to get to, and there are some really good volleyball and boys soccer teams that have been showing out so far to begin the 2019 season.
Right.
Kai, who has stood out to you so far?
Really, I've been to a couple of games, and the biggest one I've seen is Spring Creek Soccer. Those guys are quick, they are skilled, and they love playing soccer. You can see it in the way they play it. They play together. They played Rosewood last night, and Rosewood lost actually 5-0. Rosewood's actually started 0-4, but they played kind of a tough schedule. But I think Spring Creek is just showing that really they're trying to build a winning program, and
Absolutely.
I think that they're doing a really good job. And Coach Maldonado, he told me straight up, he's like, I think that's the best team in the county. It's hard to kind of equate how talented they are, but they move the ball, they play together, they don't rely on just one person. Four people scored 5 goals last night. So you love it when you don't have to rely on one guy, when there's a bunch of guys really playing together and being able to run the offense.
About. Exactly. It's 11-man squad. The team has looked really good.
Right.
And obviously they've had some pretty good teams in the past, right?
Yeah.
So,
normally Spring Creek has had either, you could make a case that Spring Creek has had either the best or the second best, soccer program in Goldsboro over the past 10 or 15 years.
Speaking of other teams in Goldsboro, one of your teams I want to talk about is the Wayne Country Day Chargers boys soccer team. Last year they were NCISAA 2A semifinalists.
Yeah.
This year I saw them in I think it was their third game or second game against Arundel Parrott. They beat them 2-0. They have 2 incredibly talented soccer players. Nehemiah, what's his last name?
Nehemiah, I can't remember his name right now. Nehemiah Shaw.
Yeah, and Marquise Newell is the other one. They are 2 electric footballers, and I think they're going to lead Wayne Country Day on another really good run here.
Yeah.
They're a very well-coached team. Honestly, the 2-0 score, they should have had more, really.
Yeah.
But if not for some really good goalkeeping from the Patriots goalkeeper, it would have been a lot worse. But Parrott's actually played really well so far.
Yeah.
They're 3-2 now.
They 3-2, yeah.
They just won over John Paul II 9-0 last night. So last year they only won 4 games. The year before they only won 4 games. So they're already at 3 this year.
I
think very well coached.
I'm about to say I think that's a lot on the coach, and Shiver is.
Yeah, we love Coach Person. Yeah, he's obviously.
Coach Person actually was my JV baseball coach. I was on the team the first team he ever coached at Wayne Country Day.
Wow, that's a really good fun fact there.
Yeah. Also, Nehemiah Shaw, his mom was actually my one of those people who help you apply to colleges and stuff like that.
College advisor.
Yeah. She was that, and she helped me out with a lot of stuff.
That's what's up.
So that's kind of close to home. And then also too. Green Central now, I think, what are they now, 2-0 now?
They're 1-0, but they play tonight against South Central.
That's right.
South Central is 2 wins and 2 draws so far. They're unbeaten through 4 games. But they look really good. They have this freshman forward that's really good. Yeah. He scored against Washington, another team that's played really well so far. They just beat Rose 4-0 Washington. I couldn't believe that score when I saw it. I was like, what?
Yeah, North Lenore is playing really good.
Yeah, they are.
Good soccer too.
They're playing Rosewood
tomorrow.
Taiwan
Hines is actually he's a really great player.
But yeah, absolutely. But that the Eastern Carolina Conference is going to be between those 3. But if I had to favor one of those 3, I would say Green Central because they have the most returning players. Right. They have a lot of depth. Mm-hmm. They're very well coached. Coach Matthew Gannow is a really good coach. They went to the second round last year.
Right.
Washington will challenge. They have a lot of really good players on their team. So with North Lenore, you mentioned Hines. Washington's got Dawson Cox and Michael Reed and a whole bunch. Really good group, younger group. But I think they're going to win some games. And when I saw that, like I said, they beat Rose 4-0. And Rose, obviously, they lost a lot, but they still have Harrison Miller and a few others.
Shout out Goldsboro too, man. They're 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Goldsboro.
That's not something that you see a lot, but
absolutely.
Now, of course, volleyball-wise, Goldsboro is having a really good season to start to their season too.
Absolutely, they won in 5 sets over North Lenore after they were up 2-0. Then they lost the next 2, and then they won the 5th set.
Young team with a lot of potential to grow. Of course, South Johnston and West Johnston have both had really good starts.
And West Johnston is going to play Arundel Parrott today. Right. That's going to be a high-level game between one of my teams that's really good, defending state champ. Of course, Arundel Parrott.
I tell you, every time I see Allie Grant every play, I'm like, man.
And she was the girls' athlete of the week for News. Yeah.
She's the goods, man. She's probably the best volleyball player I've ever seen. So I don't know.
Oh wow.
If you can, yeah, I've watched volleyball for a long time because
that's a bit bold there. I mean, I'm not gonna say she's not great. She's great, first of all. But that big proclamation. She does deserve those props. So she's really good.
Of a girl I went to school with named Kim Martell. She was kind of the same type of build, could play anywhere on the floor, but was really good outside and in the middle blocking.
Absolutely. We also got to mention for volleyball some Pitt County squads: Conley, South Central, Rose, Aiden Grifton. I know Aiden Grifton is 2 and 3, but they played South Central and Conley and Ashley High School from Wilmington.
Yeah.
They're going to be very good.
Up that schedule, man.
Farmville Central, very good. Yes, and
It would. You know what? It would.
I think they're playing today, Farmville and Aiden.
Yeah, I think it would kind of stink to me if Aiden was able to break through and be able to go deeper into the states in the fourth round without Zion Hardy. Jordan Cannon, both of those girls were great last year.
Yeah, but I know they want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But I need to mention again though, Conley obviously a defending regional champ. They were undefeated all the way until a state title game.
Still looking good.
Yes, they looked very good. South Central was very good.
Right.
Rose, very good. That conference is going to be ridiculous between the three of them, and of course. Some around here. Also got to shout out Southern Wayne Saints volleyball team, got their first win of the season.
Kinston.
They looked really good yesterday. Obviously, they play a tough non-conference and conference schedule. It might be a challenge for them, but they're gonna compete. They compete very hard. They play very well. So, but I've been really loving the volleyball so far. Also got to shout out Green Central and North Pitt as well.
Right. And of course, shout out to Green Central's tennis as well.
Of course.
Still.
Yeah, still ridiculous. They're still ridiculous.
Texas, Green Central girls tennis.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. But we love all the fall sports in the area, so we're going to keep you posted.
Keep talking about it.
You know about it. You know it.
Of course, now we're on to Striker's Game of the Week. Striker, what is the Game of the Week? I think they've seen the graphic, but explain exactly why John Paul II versus Community Christian is your Game of the Week.
Yep. The John Paul II Saints, they are playing their first football game in school history.
Number 1.
Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, it'll be at their new facility, $12.5 million facility. It's not fully completed, but it is completed enough to host events.
Let me get 1% of that, John Paul.
Yeah, let me get some money.
Just 1%.
They put a lot of money into it. Jake Keeter from the Daily Reflector got to take a tour of it. They took photos and did a story on the new facility. And Sean Murphy, the head coach of the football team, is going to lead his squad out there for the first time ever. There were a lot of really good choices for my Game of the Week, but this one was significant because of the meaning of the game and how much it means to the school that they're going to finally be a 8-man football team, and they're going to be the first Pitt County 8-man football team. They're going to play some of the teams around the area. So look out for John Paul II this year. They get started tomorrow night against Community Christian from Wilson. Strikers Game of the Week.
All right, now of course we're going to move on to the WJG Sports Game of the Week. Of course, the Wayne County Classic, Goldsboro versus Eastern Wayne.
Oh, that's a good matchup. I like that one.
Two teams 0-1 looking for their first win. Both teams are actually going to be without their starting quarterback, unfortunately. So,
and we want to wish them both well.
Yeah.
I know it really stinks for both schools that they lost their starting quarterback right before the season started. And it kind of got to both teams in their first game.
Both of them got blown out. So, this is going to be a good game for both of these teams to be able to try to rebound and maybe try to get a little bit more continuity going versus two teams who are playing hurt against each other, basically. This is always one of those games that has a lot of people there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be at Eastern Wayne this year.
As a Goldsboro native, for you, it feels right that you get to pick an all Goldsboro game. I like that pick. It really should be a very competitive game between two very really good coaches, great coaches. And I'm really excited to see how that goes.
It's definitely going to be an interesting experience just to see how both of those teams play without their main guys. But I think Eastern Wayne might be able to pull this one out.
You think so?
I think they fared a little bit better than Goldsboro did, but Goldsboro did play New Bern while Eastern Wayne played Hunt.
And also, shout out to Torrey Newell, his first win over there for the Bears. He's going to turn that program around like this.
Right.
It's gonna be
so
quick transition. I guarantee it.
I think, like I said, I think it'll be a good game. It's always one of those games where you can expect that both teams want to win.
Oh yeah, they're going to be hungry. This is going to be a really fun game.
I mean, because you got to realize these are the two schools that are right here in Goldsboro. Of course, Eastern Wayne is a little bit closer towards the outsider part of the county, but it's two in-city schools, two schools who are big rivals. It's going to be a fun game, and I think it's the perfect choice for game of the week.
Absolutely.
All right. So now finishing on some closing thoughts. Of course, this podcast has been, partly presented by WeUp Athletic Group, who has just now signed on as WJG Sports' first advertisers. Of course, if you ever want to advertise with us, you can contact me email me, wjgsports@gmail.com, and we can talk about something. But the biggest thing that the WeUp Athletic Group sponsors is our game picks. Game picks as presented by WeUp Athletic Group. Of course, you can all go online and check out where exactly you can find how to contact them and get your kids ready to train, ready for basketball season. And thank you to them for supporting us.
Absolutely. We really appreciate it. To find our game picks, you can go to our website, wejournalgreatsports.com/WP. Kai won the first week, 16-13. Yeah, Kai took the W on that one. Hopefully I can rebound and try and get some picks right this week. But the bottom line is
16-13, buddy.
Yeah, he's going to keep on doing this until Anyway, thank you so much for listening today. This is our 8th episode. I couldn't believe we've done that many.
Last week, of course, we talked about the rapid reaction we were going to have, but due to the fact that we had games on Friday, Saturday, and Monday, it just was too much to try to figure out when exactly we could do a rapid reaction because there wasn't a full reaction ready to go. So we're going to try to get it in this week. Of course, if rain can hold off and we can get all our games in on Thursday and Friday, then hopefully you can check us out on Saturday. Of course, episode 8. We appreciate y'all.
Of course, you can follow Kai Jones on Twitter at MMJ Kai Jones, also on Instagram, same at. You can follow WJG Sports on Twitter at WJG_sports. Subscribe on YouTube to the YouTube page. We're over 200 subscribers.
Over 200.
Thank you so much to all the people who subscribed, and hopefully many more. WJG Sports on Instagram as well, and on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter at StrikingNation24_, or for all high school sports news regarding Eastern North Carolina high school sports at LMA Preps. Thank you again for watching. We are out of here. We'll see you next time.